Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Bozmos2, where we are playing Chaco. It is turn 29. War has begun. See how it goes. Alright, so we have received a bit of items, bit of gear. Armor of the Knight, Spirebrand, Scutata Volturnus. Next turn we're going to receive another Scutata Volturnus. We're going to receive some Boots of the Messenger. And that should do it for now. We have completed Alteration 3. Fantastic. Very, very happy about that. And then there's a couple of different things. We're gonna jump on these. So Throne of Bones. We've got a Throne of Destiny and a Fountain of All Waters has named the Throne of Night. The Bones, Destiny, and Night. Let's have a look at those real quick. Destiny. Okay. Spreads Dominion 3. Luck 2. Oof. And Order 0. That, I think, is actually this one. Right here. Interestingly enough. So that's kind of cool. Might put me in conflict with Atlantis sooner rather than later. If for no other reason than getting Luck 2 and Order 1 would actually be really huge for us. That'd be a drastic swing in our scales. So, pretty interesting. And then we have... what was it? Bones and Night. There's Night. Yeah. Dominion 1 and Dark Vision. Interesting. And then Throne of Bones is Dominion 1 and Undying 3, which is also whatever. Cool. What else we got? We did some site searching. We found a magic site in Zox, a Starlit Pond. That is just a Astral one. Astral Pearl site. Very cool. Proclamations from Niflheim. The Abductor. Lemurian. Nobody likes yes, the Shadow Tribune. And then Prophet of Bubbles number 2, the Void Cultist. And then we have a couple of battles. So we have some of our own battles, and then we've got some battles to watch on other stuff. Mostly man. I say mostly man, it's all man. Okay, so let's watch Battle in Trouban. Okay, so we've got some of the special units from Ind. And these are actually, in my opinion, some of the best units that Ind has. So this is the Magog, the Bitch Mother. This is a very, very good mage, right? Very high path mage. Has a couple of interesting things, but the weird thing is that they have Berserker 5, right? Which can be a little odd. But they are a stealthy heretic, which is pretty good. And then they have these Dog Reavers, which are not stealthy, of note. But these guys are amazing, okay? They are 22 HP, so pretty hefty as far as, like, HP goes. They are size 3. They have mediocre stats, but pretty decent attack and strength. Baseline protection, kind of... actually low magic. We're in drain, so they've got a little bit of a boost here. And actually decent morale, surprisingly. These guys are super strong, though, because they have 3 attacks, a broadsword, a hatchet, and a bite, all of which do decent damage. And this is prior to their fucking Berserker 4, right? So Berserker 4 is going to increase their protection, increase their attack skill, decrease their defense skill, I believe, and increase their strength. And they hit really fucking hard for 6 attacks per square. They're dangerous. They're very, very dangerous. So that's kind of scary. Got a bunch of these guys. I think these guys are actually, like, really powerful, honestly. They have some, obviously they have some bad tags, right? They have Animal, which is a very bad tag, and then they have Undisciplined, which is a pretty bad tag. But for what, for all that, they get a lot of good stuff, right? They're, you know, they are very strong combat units. They're going to come in against just a very small amount of PD here. And... bloop. Just so much death so quickly. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Alright. So that's 30 Gog Reavers led by Bitch Mother. We'll do our battle in Kaban as well. Because it's not really a battle, it's a scout ping. Just checking to see if I've got PD, and I do. Get out of here with that. Does he have? What does he have? Oh, yeah, the scouts have a short bow. Gotcha. He's dead. No scout kills. And then we have, we witnessed 2 battles, one between Kangomia and Old Man, and one between Foray Phlegra and Old Man. So we'll take the first one, Tekregus. Which I believe, yeah, we've seen this raiding party before. This is the same raiding party from last turn. These Kengo Raiders just charging into Old Man territory. Kind of interested to see if Old Man's going to be able to mount a worthwhile defense against Foray Phlegra and Kangobia. We saw Old Man with that massive stack of, like, alicorns or whatever it was. But who knows if it's going to actually do anything. So, no losses here. And Foray Phlegra attacking in Bountiful Land. Oh, okay. I say massive stack of alicorns, but it's actually not a very, very big stack. So we've got a fair chunk of Knights of Avalon and then a fair chunk of Foresters, but not really a whole lot else going on here. What's this? 1 Morrigan and a single Knight Commander. That's pretty much it. Against, honestly, a fair mount from Foray Phlegra. A bunch of... Man, I swear to God, every time I find one of these nations, whether it's one of the powerhouse nations from DE or one of the Bozmos nations, I'm like, Jesus Christ, they have a lot going on. Like, goddamn. Okay, so Foray Phlegra has... these Mouflon Guards, which are super mega awesome, just cavalry, good shit. But apparently, they also have... Was that just like the one? Did I just get the one out of all of that? No, they're all mixed in here. So they're the ones with the helmets. Like if you take a quick look, you can see these helmets, and then you see this guy that doesn't have a helmet, right? Yeah, this guy is... Nope. Incorrect. So it's the guys with the helmets are the wrong ones. It's the guys without the helmets. So there are some guys without helmets. Nope. Some of those... This is so oh my god. There are some sacred units mixed in here. I don't... Yeah, there are some sacred units mixed in here. The Standard Bearer is sacred and has Void Sanity and Mind Slime. Okay, whatever. Phlegra's got a lot of chaff here. Pikemen. It's got a lot of regular heavy infantry. He's got a lot of Bakemono Sho. Got a lot of Zealous Iron... Okay, well, there's one. Ironclads and Zealous Ironclads. They hit really hard, very high protection. Length 5 pike, right? Crossbows back here, very good crossbows. They promote, I think these promote into, yeah, these guys over here, Phlegran crossbows. So these should be the crossbow conscripts. I think they promote into the actual Phlegran crossbows themselves, which I think just have slightly better precision. We got 40, 13, 11, 40, 12, 11. Yeah, so they just have slightly better stuff going on, better protection, but really, you know, you care more about their crossbows, so it's kind of whatever. there. It's got several Starborns here, which are Mind Blasters. And some Astrals back here. There's a lot going on with this Phlegrid army. I don't know what Old Man's Bless is. I haven't actually watched this battle. I don't know what Old Man's Bless is. Oh, it doesn't matter. I thought Knights of Avalon were blessable, but they're not. Yeah, this is if that's the case, this is probably a foregone conclusion. But let's see how things go. Minion Masters coming up. Alright, y'all definitely want to... Oh. The Mind Blasts coming out. Y'all definitely want to hit them in the... Okay. They're going. They're going. I was going to say, they definitely want these Knights of Avalon to be fighting in the choke point. Because if too many units get through that choke point, Phlegra's just going to fuck them. I mean, Phlegra's just going to fuck them regardless, probably. But I mean, in theory, like, this choke point thing could work, right? Like, if they had a bunch of mages back here firing things off, it would probably be pretty good. They do not, though. So I'm pretty sure this is just going to be a slow grind of... Yep. Not even that slow of a grind, honestly. The Mind Blasts came in. Mind Burns, actually, coming in. Yep. Lost 58 units, lost 94 units. These Knights of Avalon are 60 gold a pop. That is a massive chunk of gold to lose. These Foresters are pretty cheap, but the Knights of Avalon, very big chunk of money to lose. Lost a Mother of Avalon. He lost... Foray Phlegra lost primarily his Bakemono shows, which he doesn't give a shit about. He did... I'm assuming accidentally burn out his Eramenos, though. It looks like. So that was probably an accident. His Starfathers, yeah, so it looks like his Starfathers and Magistrates probably went a little too ham on the Mind Burning, and burned out the Eramenos, which is rough. The Longbowmen actually did a lot of work there, apparently. That was interesting. That was an interesting battle to see. Just look at all the different types, right? Conscripts. I'm trying to ignore like archers, Bakemono shows. I'm trying to just look at 4A Phlegra. Ironclads, Mouflon guards, crossbowmen, marksmen, pikemen. Standard bearers, veteran halberdiers, veteran pikemen, zealous ironclads. Do they all? Is that no? I was gonna say. I wonder. I wonder what the mechanic with them is. I wonder if you just like, if they have. You know what? We can just go look. Let's just go look at 4A Phlegra real quick. See what they have. I mean, there's so many nations in here that I haven't had time to look at everything. Veteran. Ironclad. So there's not like a zealous ironclad. So zealots appear among men and are suicidally brave. So it's just when you recruit them, when you recruit the men, you have a chance of it being a sacred. That's kind of cool, honestly. That's kind of cool. Cyclops Grenadier, Eramenoses, Standard Bearers. So these guys are always... Gotcha. These guys are always sacred. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. So, done with that. Okay, we have some events. Barbarian Horde attacked in Woven Plain. We were prepared for this. We have a battle there. Let's see if our preparation was enough. Because this is 50-ish barbarians. Only 6 Katsina. Is that going to be enough? Yes. The answer is yes. Yay! Alright, well that's cool. So, 6 Katsina warriors enough to take on 40 barbarians, apparently. Pretty cool. We completed the fortified village in Temiglia. And Chile, goddess of Bogarus, has been permanently vanquished. Let's take a look at that real quick. We haven't taken a look at the pretenders in a while. We've got Old Atlantis has gone AI. We've got Jomon has been defeated. Bogarus has been defeated. This is Zion has gone AI. And Venetia has gone AI. I also know that Finascandia is actually going AI this turn as well. So. And they are going AI, well, primarily because they're getting bowled over. They're getting attacked by Ermor and by Atlantis, so they're losing ground swiftly. But also because they have some personal stuff going on, so good. Best of luck to them. Life happens. So. And it was basically just deemed that they don't have enough going on to worry about like finding a sub. Is basically over and done with anyways. So what are we doing this turn? Well, so definitely sending more than just the 90 or so that we saw last turn. We've got an army of about 200, consisting mainly of soldier priests, bone fiends, Piconnier soldiers, Gog Reavers, and Abbott Sages. Okay, so, we've got some issues there, then, if that's the case. Abbott Sages, we'll take a look at those real quick, are his baseline astral ones. Right here. These are the Abbott Sages. Baseline astral ones, but they communion up very, very easily in order to do things like Mind Burn or Soul Slay, or also just communion up very easily to do priest spells. Yeah. So there's that. I do not see any Maguses or Sages, which are his bigger ones. So there is that. It is we saw Sages, here last time. We saw Sages, yeah, right. We can see Sages are here, so it looks like maybe he's not bringing his Sages out. Or sorry, I'm a numbnuts. We don't see any Maguses. He is bringing Sages. There's a different one. Oop, wrong person. Magus Supreme. I guess it's the Supreme that I was thinking of. Right, so he's not bringing any Supremes to bear that we're aware of, or any Maguses that we're aware of. Just Sages so far. But he's got a lot of different armies, and so we're kind of in a shitty-ish situation here. And I've been thinking about this for a while, trying to figure out what exactly do we want to try to do. We've got several options, right? We've got the defensive strategy that we've been talking about, continuing to focus on research and build up to specific breakpoints so that we can challenge certain scenarios. But we have to know what he is trying to do in his armies before we can successfully challenge those things. Because, if we send, again, like it's the concept of if we send our god out to try to, kill a 200 stack, because our god can berserk and sustain through a shit ton of stuff, right? That can go well and good until, of course, until our god runs into a Soul Slay communion and instantly dies. So we've got a lot of things up in the air, but the problem is the longer we wait, the more of an advantage we give him on his war machine pushing forward into our territories. And if we are cautious, and then fail, right? Then he's on our doorstep, right? Basically, it's already over at that point. It's the scenario, it's the concept of like, sometimes if you fail at the start of a war, then you can pick back up and still come back. But if you wait too long, then it can fuck you, basically. So that is the strategy, the concept that we are trying to keep in mind as we maneuver about our realm. I am not jumping into action. I'm not, we're being greedy. Kind of trying to have our cake and eat it too. So, what we are doing is we are maneuvering in an effort to test his capabilities without subjecting ourselves to bad arrangements. I say bad arrangements. I need to double check on that. We're testing some potentially negative arrangements because I want to see how it goes, right? And we're playing relatively cautious. So let's talk about more of that in depth. So movements. These movements are just for site searching. They don't matter. We are sending a Wuya towards Chaco to be in a more central location. We have 2 Wuyas here. This army is prepped and ready to be able to launch into Ashenton. So we're actually not that far away from Smacia if we need to try to get there. I think this army is probably okay to fight some pretty advanced forces. But we are holding another turn. I spent a lot of time agonizing about whether or not to go ahead and attack Smacia this turn. It was a very, very, very close call, and the main reason why we're not attacking Smacia this turn is because I'm getting a fair chunk of research from Zaburia, or not attacking Ashenton this turn, is because I'm getting a fair chunk of research and forging from Zaburia. And I don't want to give that up this turn just yet. This, there are 2 things that might come back to bite us in the ass. 3 things that might come back to bite us in the ass from this turn specifically. And this, I think, is one of those, if not the number one thing. Sleeping or being overly cautious. This isn't really being overly cautious, though. I'll say that this is being greedy for research, right? We've had so little research for so long that now that we have it, I'm very loath to give it up in certain situations. Being so greedy to get this research rather than attacking at an potentially opportune moment in Ashenton is probably a big loss here. So, you know. There's that. We are moving a Wuya into Smacia, and this is probably the second thing that could end up blowing up in my face, right? We are holding in Smacia. I absolutely considered, right, there's so much here, 90, 230, right? I absolutely considered just evacuating Smacia, backtracking into Caban, backtracking towards Chaco, waiting until I got a good group, because remember, we have so much strength put into our Katsina warriors. To not use our Katsina warriors in one of the main battles is kind of like we're fighting this war handicapped, kinda, you know? It's very strange. But it's just how I ended up positioning myself. I have a main force of Katsinas here in Zaburia, and I have a main force of Katsinas here in Ablak, right? So that just ended up being the scenario. I, again, really considered pulling out of Smacia, but I think we're going to try to hold Smacia. We are sending in a Wuya. That Wuya may or may not end up getting kitted out by magic items on the following turn, but we'll see. For now, I'm not super worried about it. The intent is just to get him there so that we have a very easy divine blessing. Again, not for anything particular other than our star priests, which probably isn't a big deal. But you know what it is. That being said, there's another scenario here is that if this Wuya, if kitted out and in the right setup, could potentially try to take on a whole fucking army, right? So, oh, there. body ethereals there. So that could be good. I'm looking at that because there's a lot of other units here. Bone Fiends don't have magic attacks. Fucking Gog Reavers don't have magic attacks, etc. But anyways, so this could come back to bite us in the ass. But my hope is that we're going to get hit. Hope. You should not run battle plans off of hopes. I am hoping that we are going to get hit in Smacia. We're going to see what his idea. I might end up changing this turn entirely between this recording and the actual go, but the hope is we get hit in Smacia. We get a good look about what is going on in this army, and then we hit it with our god, and then we clean up the remnants with the actual army itself. Basically, the idea is next turn we hit a whole bunch of different shit. I don't know that that's going to happen. We might pull back out of Smacia, because here's the thing, right? And this is actually a very good point. If we're in Smacia, what does that look like? If we're in Smacia, right, and we get hit, then we're locked in Smacia. But if we pull out of Smacia to Caban and reinforce into Caban, then we can just hit Smacia back on the next turn. I don't know. We're probably going to sit in Smacia again because I don't want to lose research. And two, I'm hopeful, again, there's that word, I'm hopeful that we've got this. So, moving Wuya into Smacia. The other big thing that I think is potentially something that we're going to regret is this, High Peaks. Wuya 4 is moving into Temiglia and patrolling. This is in response to the potential that these Gog Reavers are going to attack Temiglia. They could hit Temiglia, they could hit Dardania, but my assumption is he will have just seen this fort come up this turn, right? And he could just hit that fort, or he could hit High Peaks, or he could hit again Dardania, whatever. But I'm gonna hope that he's gonna hit Temiglia. Here's the thing, though. I'm trying to anticipate this because I want to fight these Gog Reavers with Wuya 4. Why do I want to fight these Gog Reavers with Wuya 4? Let's take a look at the Gog Reavers again. So these are Gog Reavers, right? 22 HP. They hit hard. They have several attacks. They have Berserker, and they have decent protection. That's actually really bad for me. That's really, really bad for me. Hitting really hard is, obviously, that's always bad, right? Hitting really hard is always bad. But hitting really hard a bunch of times is incredibly bad for me. But also, them having Berserk is incredibly bad for me, because when I hurt them with a repel or what have you, they're going to go 99 morale. And when they're 99 morale, I'm not going to be able to repel them. Which is shit. Which is absolutely shit. So that's bad. That's really bad for me. So why would I take the fight? Why am I trying to take the fight? Because the other side of it is they have garbage magic resistance. They have a base of 9. They're animals, so they have a base of 9 magic resistance. In my lands, we have drain, so that is actually a bad thing. That boosts their magic resistance, so it goes up to 10. But still, right, that 10 is still bad. 10 is still quite bad. I want to see how my setup does, right? I want to see how repel not working, right? Because I've been talking about repel a whole lot. Repel is great. Not great against berserking. It's not great against the undead. It's not great against like demons, things that have really high morale, right? So I'm going to invariably get into these situations where I can't just repel everything. So I want to see if the rest of the kit is working, because the rest of the kit has to come in to do the heavy lifting here. And the rest of the kit is high armor, or really the rest of the kit is a bind shield, a built-in bind shield, high armor, and all the other normal stuff that you would consider, right? Regeneration, etc., etc. So, I am hoping that we get into this fight so that this Wuya, so I can see whether or not this Wuya does well, and we could get this Wuya into a fight, and he could insta-fucking die to these Dog Reapers. And if he does, that's going to be a very telltale sign for... I mean, we might not have much of a rest of a game if he just insta-dies. But if we do have much of a rest of the game, that's going to be a telltale sign for me when facing certain things. That's gonna tell me, like, late game, a Wuya is not going to stand up to, a Tart or a Demon. Like, I won't be able to expect that to be a thing. So what I'll have to do is I will have to switch gears on what my plans are in prioritizing different unit selections or recruitments, basically. So that's kind of what I'm trying to achieve here. What are we doing to try to get this out? So we've got a Firebrand, Scutata Volturnus, Dragon Helmet, Armor of Knights, Boots of Long Strides, Burning Pearl, and Stone Bird. If I had other miscellaneous gear, I would swap it out here. But I don't. So it is what it is. We have a base of 24 protection with all this, with a current natural protection of 4. We have Iron Skin. So we are going to be sitting at over 30 protection and then some. So we're going to bless, blessing ourselves. We go pretty quick. Will give us regeneration, temper flesh, and attack skill 4. It will be 21 attack skill. That should be pretty good. Then Iron Skin is going to boost our protection up to, I think, about 31. I'm not positive on this. I'm never good at calculating the protection boosts. We've got a Prayer of Earth. Normally this would be Summon Earth Power. We don't have that yet, so we're going to do a Prayer of Earth for reinvigoration, which we desperately need because we actually do have high encumbrance, unfortunately. And then we are going to Temper Armor, which is a self-cast Legions of Steel, which is cool. I think this is a very neat addition to DE. So self-cast Legions of Steel should be pretty good, plus 3 armor to all of his armor. Should be pretty nice. And then Flying Shield. The Flying Shield is an additional protective force of 20 that blocks about half of the attacks that come in. May or may not get all of this stuff off, of course, right? These guys are not exactly slow, right? Combat speed 13. So it's a matter of whether or not they get bogged down by the small amount of province defense here. And it's also a matter of whether or not the Wuya runs off of that province defense getting killed, right? He might just break, but that's part of the reason why we have the Dragon Helmet, is for boosted morale. So the hope here is that, right, we can't repel them once they are berserking, but we can repel their initial attacks. So we repel a wave of attacks, right? They start berserking. We're vine shielding them. Every hit that we swing with should be a kill. We're also going to have procs from the Scutata Volturnus every single turn for Shocking Grasp, which also should be kills, or very close to kills. And then the hope is that 30 plus protection with a reduction to the damage with Temper Flesh and regeneration is going to be enough. I have a sneaking suspicion at the end of the day that it's not going to be enough, right? I think we might still win, but I think the only way we win, or I have a sneaking suspicion that the way we might win is because we kill enough of the Gogs to rout the non-berserked Gogs. is the scenario, right? But I don't know that that's gonna happen. This is very dicey. This is a very expensive unit to experiment with, and this is a lot of gear that we just paid a lot of freaking gems for some of this gear, to just be tossing at an experiment. But I think if we don't experiment with it, we're in trouble. So, is what it is. My God, I'm playing like such a asshole. And then over here in Ablak, we're not really doing anything. We're just waiting, and he may or may not attack us in Ablak. He might just go for Domen. We're gonna see how it goes. But you can see our temple has already converted Ablak over, so we can respond should we need to. Well, kinda seems correct. We are doing more forging, some Ranger's boots. Again, Ranger's boots are reinvigoration. These are Boots of the Messenger substitutes, basically. Doing some more Kithrionic Lion pelts. We're doing some more Burning Pearls, I believe. We're doing another Dragon Helm. Doing another Stone Bird. We're doing a Lodestone, just in case we find out that there are Soul Slays here, and we still feel like we need to use our God. We'll put a Lodestone on him instead of a Stone Bird, because 24 magic resistance is still pretty good. See how it goes. Can he actually make? I don't think he can make it all the way up to. No, he can't. But he can make it to Wolven Plain. That's cool. And that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna detail all of the different recruiting. We're recruiting everywhere, but you know, nothing is crazy, interesting, or anything like that. I guess down in Vongar, we are doing some of these Eagle Tribe guys. These are pretty cool. The dual wielding axes, you know, they're kind of neat, but kind of whatever. And I think that's it. This is going to be, I don't know, I have a bad feeling about this war. I've had a bad feeling about Chaco from the very beginning. I think I'm playing them wrong. I think I should have played them scales and just used... But then I don't know what Chaco's plan is for the late game. You know? Like, they don't have the path diversity to just go scales and then get their good stuff later on. I don't know. Alright, that's it for the turn. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.